Hey, this is Christian Buckley, and we are at the closing panel of the day here at the European SharePoint, Office 365, and Azure conference in Copenhagen. All right, and so I'm going to do some introductions really quick.
Hey all, Eric Overfield here, Pixmill out of California, USA. Happy to be here. Yeah, looking forward. I've really had a great time the first day, and I think we have a lot to talk about, so looking forward to going into that.
Hi, Nicki Borell from Germany, and as Eric said, interesting first day, and happy to talk about.
I'm happy to talk about it too. I'm Tracy from the Schyff, all the way from sunny South Africa. That's why I've got this thick jacket on. And yes, I've had an incredible day, of course, with you guys as well. Hanging out with you always makes me happy. So I'm going to hand up back to you, Christian.
I feel like I should be unhappy to talk about, just to throw something in the mix, so that is like that's right. Yeah, but Christian Buckley with Collab Talk LLC out of Salt Lake City, Utah. It's great to be back in another ESPC. So let's talk about like how the day started. You know, like takeaways from the day. Like what really stood out in the day for the keynotes. Any other sessions that you went to? Anyone?
Me first. So I actually had a bit of a thinker. Can you believe that? Watch it. So anyway, I think what was great for me always with any conferences, I think for all of us, is that feeling we have when it opens and the keynote's ready to start. And just that feeling of community and how we just all part of something so much bigger, which always makes me very, very excited. I mean, I've done a lot of conferences, but it always is unbelievably exciting for me. And I mean, we were like more than 2,000 people, and it's... We're all just one big family. I mean, that's what really makes us cool. I mean, we're all just brought together about what we're passionate about and the products we love and about building community and support and friends and then these people. There's friends and then there's them.
I like how you said that, you know, and then these people at the end, and there's that difference, you know. So. No, but it's yeah, you're right. I mean, one of the things that I liked that Jeff Teeper from Microsoft, you know, talked about was the kind of the you know, how this event is like an extension. It's a continuation of what was shared at Microsoft Ignite. And which built off of the virtual summit as well as the SharePoint Conference North America that happened in Vegas back in May. And so we've had now the last 3 years, we've had this early May, you know, virtual summit. And it was just kind of embodied within the keynote in the event day one in Vegas, Ignite, now this event. And so, I mean, for me, I mean, it's not that there was anything, there was a lot of great content, things talked about. There wasn't necessarily anything brand new because of the way that we're getting information so rapidly now. But there definitely were a few things that jumped out to me. So, I mean, what kind of stood out?
Yeah, so for me, it's interesting to see again and again that Microsoft has just learned this lesson that it's not about products. It's not about SharePoint. Okay, the name of the conference is SharePoint Conference, but you see this example Dan Holm showed at the keynote that you have Stream embedded in your Yammer feed. It's not about products, it's about productivity and user and business focus, and that's brilliant to see it again and again.
So a lot of fun takeaways. First up, so 2140, that's a lot of people that's here. That was the number we heard during I think Tracy gave us that number. That's really cool, and it's really evident. I thought last year was really crowded in a great way in Ireland. I think that this year it's even more so. The attendees have been really great to talk to, so definitely just love the community that's here. So one of the takeaways that I also got was like what Christian said, where a lot of the stuff we are seeing is kind of a repeat. It's the evolution of the continued products, and we know a lot of the stuff that's coming, but there was an announcement I really liked. I've been spending a lot of time in the SP Starter Kit, so PNP Initiative created this SP Starter Kit, and they've updated it, and they announced it's a private beta, unfortunately, but they still announced this PNP provisioning service that they're going to be releasing really soon. I'm really excited to see that, and so, you know, here we are at a not one of Microsoft's run event that they run on their own. They're still making announcements elsewhere, and that to me is showing Microsoft's commitment to the community, definitely Microsoft's commitment to this conference, which for me is just a great conference here in Europe. So,
you know, they could have a conference every month and there'd be exciting new things to announce. There's that much stuff that's happening.
I think something important to remember is that we're very fortunate to go to Ignite. there's a lot of people who isn't fortunate to go to Ignite. So what's great for me out of these, I mean, I talk about that like the good pyramid scheme when it comes to mentorship, okay, the right way to build these things. And this is a perfect example of how we take what happened at Ignite and it kind of filters down. We're bringing this back into the conferences. We keep on releasing all these cool things because we might have heard some of that already. You know, we've seen some of those updates and those announcements already, but some of this is brand new to the people that's at this conference. And that's what I absolutely love, is how it just filters down. It gets to this conference, it gets to the user groups again, and that's just a cycle that keeps on learning and keeps on giving, and that's how the mentorship works better.
Any other takeaways?
So I will take it, but what I want to say is, when I talk to my customers, so also to the community, I say, if you cannot make it to Ignite, make it to European SharePoint Conference. So that's a story, yes.
One thing I would say, and this was brought up a couple different times and wasn't specifically said from stage, I was waiting for it when we were talking about the community, that it's, I guess, Tieper talked a little bit about it, but we have, how many partners are here in the expo hall? 80? But it's a great opportunity to take a look at, and if you're attending any of these events, whether you're, and he talked a lot about SharePoint Saturdays, and which continue to, it's now been 11 years, almost 12 years? Anyway. Well, no, it's 11 years, yeah, since 2008. But you have all of these events going on. A great indicator of what's happening with the space is to look at the partner solutions. And so while, just the way that I look at it, it's not just that, hey, they're filling gaps there, because that's not all what it's about. They also help with just speed and efficiency, integrations with other applications, other systems. And so it's something that you really need to look into. Not every partner out here is really good at doing the marketing, getting the word out about what they're doing. And so there are a lot of engineers, a bunch of, that were passionate about solving a problem, building something. So you have to kind of walk around and talk to people to find out, like, oh, that's what you're doing. Oh, that has absolutely nothing to do with my business, but that's fascinating. And then the next one is like, well, it's like, wow, I actually really need to have that. But it's a great sign to see that this ecosystem is thriving, is that you see this continuation of new names popping up. Half the vendors here I've never seen before, heard of, and so I'm interested this week to find out, what are they building? What are they doing? What's their take on it? Why did these 5 other vendors that are doing something that sounds similar, what's different about this? What is that opportunity? And I just think that's something that as the researcher side of me, likes to look at as an input to say, like, well, what's really happening within the ecosystem?
So I'm going to go back to the Microsoft support of this. I think it was 28 people came from Redmond here from Microsoft. That's huge commitment to see. They see the value in the community. They see the value in promoting this message. They understand that not everyone could go to Ignite, so they're helping these kind of conferences, and that's just really great to see. Some of the demos we saw were outstanding from Microsoft, and it wasn't just one person. It wasn't just Jeff Tieper who did it all. He showed off his team to show the talent that they have. One of the demos I thought that was super cool was Naomi Moneypenny is showing off the new Microsoft Search, which I cannot wait till that goes Channel A. I mean, that Searchify, yeah, another good takeaway. We had Teamify, Groupify, Searchify, and Hubify. Yes. They had to keep coming with something new. But the new Microsoft Search, I think, is really going to change the way that we're going to be utilizing Office 365, Microsoft 365, talking about integration. I mean, that Microsoft's not looking about, oh, it's SharePoint. No, it's about productivity. It's about communication, collaboration. We're creating this tool set for you. We've got all these different things that are going to help, and we're going to keep extending those, such as Search. We're going to create a really stellar, out-of-the-box search experience.
Yeah, I think that you're right. That was a standout too. And I was thinking about, while Naomi was presenting, it's funny. I think so. I had Caruana Gatimo sitting across the aisle, and I was sitting there live streaming with my camera, and she took a couple pictures of her slides. I'm like Caruana, like, can you text me those photos? And she did, and so I had some of those things to talk about, because I think when you look at Microsoft's like AI story, and how it's and I know that it's there's a number of executives at Microsoft that are talking about this, and we're going to hear more about things that as they pertain to the SharePoint space and this ecosystem, but that Microsoft realizes that people are going to come in at different levels around AI, and sometimes they just want I want to build just a small little I want it to be drag and drop. I want to be able to go move things across, and that I get some utility out of that. Where at the other end of the spectrum, people want to go in there and they want to leverage the raw APIs, go and build something from scratch that's the world has never seen. And then you have in between that varying degrees. And so Microsoft is trying to support those out of the box as well as those each step along the way to provide tools and services all the way up to like, here, build it yourself. Here are the raw materials for that. And I think that's the right approach to this, to not, just say, here's one way to go in and build out AI for the enterprise, but, what do you need? Here are the different pieces. Let us help you along that path. And so, I mean, that's exciting to see more and more companies that are experimenting with the technology.
So as you said, this wide range of options makes it absolutely interesting. Visa, Yuvonen keeps on saying SharePoint Online is a developer platform. And on the other side, I've just involved in a couple of projects where the customer makes a fixed point to say, we have all do it with standard, no customizations, and we can do it today. So this wide range Office 365 offers for the end users, for the business, makes it such an interesting product.
So guys, what is there some cool sessions you're looking forward to for tomorrow? I mean, Paula is delivering the keynote tomorrow morning with cybersecurity. I'm saying looking forward to it. It's one of those things that scares us, but it's great if we do go to those. So apart from this whole cybersecurity, the keynote tomorrow morning, what sessions are you guys looking forward to?
So there's a session for me tomorrow. I will definitely attend. It's from Michael Svensson about governance groups. Because this is a hot topic also for the customers. With all these self-service options, you need a strong government to keep control of what's going on in your enterprise. So I will just prefer this session.
I wish I could say I'm going to go to sessions tomorrow, Wednesday. I'm not. I will have 2 sessions myself, so I'm going to be a little booked up. Definitely, though, there's been some sessions. I look at the list, and we have 140 sessions, I think 130 speakers from around the world. The session makeup is, I've never seen something so good. They continue to do better and better here at ESPC. This has got to be the best. I look at all these descriptions. I want to go to that one and that one and that one and that one. Now with the inclusion of that much more Azure, I think it's 40 Azure sessions, if I heard this right. Outstanding content. So I wish I could say I'm going to more sessions, but I definitely not tomorrow. Catch me on Thursday because I have Thursday off, so I'm going to be doing that.
Yeah, same with me. I've got a very busy day tomorrow. My session, talking about inner and outer loops. So it's addressing that question of which tool to use when. But I'm really focusing this week on everything around kind of information architecture. So I'm interested in the groups. I'm interested in the traditional SharePoint IA, as well as anything I can consume on that topic around Teams, because it's so important. As so many organizations are moving so quickly towards that tool. And you can't throw away all the years of work that you did on SharePoint information architecture. It's going to be relevant in the Teams world. So, and there's bits and pieces that are all over the place. I know that like Benjamin Nyland had his on groups today. I wasn't able to go to that one, so I'm going to hit that one definitely tomorrow. The other one I wanted to see was your blockchain session, which of course, this is I think the 3rd major event where you've presented on the topic at the same time I have. So I've never been able to see his session, but I think they planned that.
Yeah, that seemed to happen. How about you, Tracy? What sessions do you want to go into?
I heard that there's a really, really good session at 11:45 tomorrow. Let me just think, it's mine. I am going to be in my own session so that at least there's one of us, so that's going to start. But yeah, I'll be talking about digital literacy. You know that I'm quite passionate about that and user adoption, but there's a lot of cool sessions. I'm definitely, it's like you say, the problem is we can't see them all. And again, I mean, we always asked about Ignite is how do you kind of pace this? Because it's so many sessions. And manage those expectations. Don't try and fully book this up. Please keep some time in between to have chats with people, have a cup of coffee, walk around, build up that network. Don't try and like supercharge all those sessions after each other, because then you're kind of too tired as well to appreciate and to enjoy it.
That's a good way to wrap.
Nothing more to say. Yeah.
I was going to say that, I mean, that's a good way to for those, whether or not if you're attending, great. I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, that's the problem. You're one person. You can't go to every session. I don't know how many tracks we have going on at one time. Do you know that?
10.
There's like 10 tracks happening at one time. So you got to pick from 10 at any given time. There's always going to be 2 or 3 at least that you really want to go see. You're missing a lot there. And so like, I'd love to hear your advice. One of my guidance for that is that find out who the speakers are, reach out to them, and because a lot of their materials are available. I know there's a lot that come through the show, but find out if there's other recordings of that session elsewhere. So you definitely want to follow up. Any other tidbits?
Yeah, so I've got one on that one for sure. The value of conferences like this to me is almost more than networking. The content is absolutely important, and there are sessions that I have not seen anywhere and I don't think you can find elsewhere. It's hard to know exactly which one that is, so if you hit the important ones, leave room where you're like, well, there's 2 sessions here I might like, but I'm having this conversation with someone. That's more important because that's what you're going to take home. A lot of this content is out there. You can find some of it. It won't be as fresh, it won't be as good, but you'll get some of that value, but do make sure that you network. Pick a 2, 3 that you need to go to today, tomorrow, whatever it was. Go to them for sure. I think you'll get the most out of it that way. And then when you go into a session, say hi to the person next to you. And you might be surprised who that person is and the problems they're having. And you might be the same issues you're having. And maybe someone else will hear that conversation and go, oh, no, we took care of that problem. And here's how we solved it. And I just find everybody is so willing to talk about how they're dealing with Office 365, Microsoft 365. You might find a lot of really good solutions here as well.
I think just the last one as well. I mean, I remember going to conferences when I wasn't speaking at conferences yet, and you've got this idea of the speakers. And I mean, we're all just normal. Like, please come out. Well, I don't know about Christian, but the rest of us, we're just normal. Just come up. Yeah, that's just lowered you down a notch where you belong. So anyway, we're really just normal people. We want to chat to people. We want to hear what's happening in your company. What are the frustrations that you have? That helps us to have perspective as well. And get some context with different cultures and companies and places. So please, I mean, stop us on the way past, especially him. Stop him all the time on the way past. And it's because you're so famous, Christian. I know. Anyway, but please do. So chat to us and approach us and ask questions.
Well, thanks a lot for watching this, and we're going to be back at the end of the day 2 and day 3 and doing a similar wrap-up and sharing kind of our thoughts, our takeaways. If you got questions, reach out to us. Of course, use the hashtag ESPC18 and let us know if you've got questions, if you could reach out to us individually. And just to finalize this, how you get in touch with each of us. So you can find me at Buckley Planet.
At Eric Overfield.
SharePointTalk.net.
At Tracy VDS.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you at the next one.